let's stay on this Michelle Rodriguez train and talk Fast X. Oh boy, the end of the road starts now, as they say.
Yeah.
What are you thinking of this trailer? What are your opinions?
My initial thought was I was a bit sad there wasn't any space footage. And then I would say that my my next thought, there was at the end of the trailer, Vin Diesel said a line. He's in the car and he's like, "Nobody messes with my family," or something like that. And I had just forgotten almost everything I had seen prior because I was like, here we go again. It's just what can I say? The helicopter on the highway bridges and how they managed to get out of all that shit unscathed. They're like constantly at 5 stars on GTA, but there's never any real consequences.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I'm just gonna go in there. I'm not gonna put anything on this. I know it's gonna be insane and ridiculous, and I guess you just have to be here for that. That's what you have to expect. Yeah.
What about you, Jesse? Family. I think the line you might have been thinking of was, maybe it's not, because I do say family a few times in this trailer, like they're milking it, but there is a line which is like, I always love to see how they try and say the same shit but in a different way. And in this one, I think it's Jason Momoa is like, the problem with having a big family is you have to choose which ones you save. And it's like,
oh god,
the same when I kill your family. Like everyone else says that. Like, what do you reckon, Jesse?
I feel like this franchise is just a major meme now. It's just a bit of a joke. I'll say this: it's nice to see Jason Momoa be a villain. I feel like he's got a good presence, like formidable presence, intimidating presence as a villain, and he seemed to be like having fun in this role from the few, when we were hearing him in the few scenes we saw him in this trailer. Look, I haven't seen Fast and Furious since like 5 or 6 or something, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to endure the couple of films to go and see this new one. The 3 or 4 films? I don't even know how many films. Like 10 films?
This is 10. That's right. Well, 11 if you count the spin-off Luke, Hobbs and Shaw, but 12 if you count the short film that was also made, but 13 if you count the video game, which is meant to be canon, but it's 14 if you count the spin-off cartoon series Fast and Furious Spy Races, and 15 if you count the other movie starring Han, directed by Justin Lin, which was retroactively fit into the franchise, and I'm sure there's a 16th one somewhere.
I'm not gonna.
I don't know that on top of my head. I'm a fan.
Look, I'm not gonna put myself through that, so I probably won't say this. I was seeing scenes in this trailer. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that from Fast 5 and some of the other ones. This like when they drag the bank vault with 2 cars, which makes physics like it makes no sense. But anyway, I don't know, it just looked wacky. And I was going to say something, I forgot it off the top of my head what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. This might be controversial with our group of friends, but I really don't like the Fast and Furious franchise that much. It's one of my least favorite movie franchises in Hollywood. So personally, so I just, probably not going to see it.
I want to play a game. I'm going to read you the plot of a Fast and Furious movie, and I want you guys to guess which movie I'm talking about. Okay? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Dom Toretto is enjoying his life with his beautiful family, but then someone dangerous from his past who has lost everything thanks to Dom, with seemingly infinite resources, now wants to kill him because he took everything away from him. Now, Dom and his family must save the world using cars. Which Fast and Furious movie am I describing?
Is one of the answers like all of the above? I feel like that's basically
All the
every
movies,
single
yeah.
one. Is it a trick
It's
question?
an actual,
Is that
it's an actual specific movie.
The answer is.
Wait, hang on. Is it an actual specific movie?
I'm about to tell you. You ready?
Okay.
The answer is all of the above from 6 onwards.
Oh.
So
okay.
in number 6, right? Letty, who we thought was dead, which is Michelle Rodriguez, comes back to with amnesia to get Dom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so Dom has to fight his wife. He has to fight his family. Then in 7, Shaw, which is Jason Statham's character, comes back and is like, well, you killed my brother in 6, so now I'm going to kill your family. Then in 8 is interesting because technically what happens is Charlize Theron comes in and she's like, I'm Cypher. I control the organizations you fought in 7, 6, and I think 5, and now I'm going to get you guys. But the twist here is someone else comes back from Dom's past and it's his baby. So now he gets a family, but he's still fighting someone from his past. Then in 9, and we just find out he's had a brother this whole time, which is John Cena. And he's like, you took my family away from me because you killed our dad.
Wait.
And now
John Cena is his brother?
Yeah. John Cena is Vin Diesel's
they
brother
look
for some reason.
nothing alike.
Exactly. That's
why
this franchise is amazing, Jesse.
Wait, hang on. I remember seeing one scene from a previous Fast film where him and John Cena are fighting, and it looked like the most ridiculous thing I'd ever seen. Is that true?
Every scene in Fast and Furious is the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. Trust me. But yeah, so in 9, John Cena comes back and he's like, you ruined my family. Even though we're family, now I'm going to ruin yours. And then in 10, we find out that the vault they robbed in Fast 5 was owned by Jason Momoa. So now he wants revenge and he's come for Dom's family. So literally every movie since 6 stars a villain who wants revenge for something that they did in a previous film. And they're going to fight with cars. So for those people out there saying the franchise has run out of ideas, I don't know what you're talking about.
This one method has been working for 50% of the time. So
is this the one where they're going into space? Are they actually going into space? Is that a thing?
In 9, they went to space for like 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They attached
I was thinking,
a rocket.
do they fight cars in space or?
No, they rammed a car into a satellite, I think, if I remember correctly. But look, here's what I want to say. I'm legit. So 9, in my opinion, was one of the worst so far. It just, look, they lost The Rock, which brought all the fun to the franchise, and because he was like the only one that was in on the joke. I feel like he's the one who knew what the franchise was. That it's stupid. Let's embrace the stupidness. And so 9 was way too serious, and making John Cena a villain, it just goes against all his strengths. He had to be serious all the time when he's such a great comedic actor, and so he was boring. And seeing Vin Diesel fight John Cena, it should have been like seeing Vin Diesel fight Dwayne Johnson, but it wasn't. It was lame. But this trailer, like, we've got a much better villain. I think Jason Momoa is, he's having fun. He's bringing that Aquaman bro energy to it. So that's already a huge improvement. We're going to get a fight scene between Charlize Theron and Michelle Rodriguez, which legitimately looks good. I feel like this could be a massive improvement from the last one. Also, I don't know what Brie Larson is doing this film, but this is exactly what her career needs to like try and win back the Marvel fans, I think. So good for her.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
I reckon everyone's going to hate her, but like this is, if she can pull it off, like this will be, I think, really good for, like, you'll get her some points in the bros books, and if she put her in a fight against Charlize Theron or
that could be really cool, actually.
It could be like, she's done action before. She has it in her. Just that one Captain Marvel film just like really cut it. People forget she's won an Oscar. Like, she's a good actress. But I'm annoyed that it seems like Jason Statham is barely in this, and the end credit scene of 9 was saying we're going to get justice for Han, and it looks like we're not going to get justice for Han. because Vin Diesel does not want to give the spotlight to anybody else. Look, the helicopter scene on the highway, it looks exciting. My only other comment is, okay, so this franchise is always chasing trends. It wants to just do whatever it can to make as much money as possible. It's always bringing in whatever celebrity cameo it can. And, right, so when franchises are running out of steam and no one wants to give them any money anymore, one of the techniques is, just say it's the last film. Usually it's not the last film. Like this happened to Saw, this happened to Freddy, it happened to Jason. They said it's the last one, and it's not.
It's the final chapter.
Yeah, but then people exactly, it's the final chapter. So people go, "Oh shit, I better go to see how it ends." You know, like nobody watched The Walking Dead for the last 10 years, but everyone watched the final episode. It's like, well, how does it end? You know, so But what they've done here is they're smart. They're smart. They go, well, ending on Fast and Furious 11 doesn't sound good. So let's just do what Harry Potter did and cut the last one into 2 films. So there's Fast X, I think this is Fast X Part 1, and then it'll be Fast X Part 2.
Are you serious?
Well, apparently, like the 11 is going to be the last one, and that's why it says the end of the road begins, because it's part 1 of the end of the road. And I hate this because it's very obvious that this was not written to be the end. Otherwise, there'd be like some big thing like, oh, we're coming back to where we came from, or there'd be some sort of thematic thing that makes it feel like a finale, but it doesn't feel like a finale. It feels like every other film we've had for the last 20 years. So it's a very cheap marketing tactic, and it really rubs me up the wrong way.
So you don't think it's the actual final film for the Fast?
No, it's not. We know there's going to be one more after this, and it's called, and the 11th one will be the last one. And that's, but I think they're going to call it probably like X2, or they'll give it some final name like Fast and Furious End of the Road, or Fast and Furious Final Lap, or they'll have some name like that. But that's why it says End of the Road Begins, because supposedly this movie is the first half of a 2-parter. But really, what they want to do is just do, it's Infinity War and Endgame. We're just copying Marvel, basically.
Yeah.
And if it's the final one, this should feel like everybody's here. Everybody's coming back. It should feel like a conclusion. It doesn't feel like a conclusion. That really annoys me.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
You chose a villain. And I'm not knocking Jason Momoa, because to me, he looks like the biggest draw card in this movie.
I agree.
But it's just interesting that it's just interesting that your final movie, you chose a villain that you stole a bank from, a vault from 5 movies ago. That's your villain for the last movie. It just seemed to be an interesting choice.
Yeah, I think it might be because a lot of people say 5 is the best one.
Interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people believe 5 is the best. Some people can argue 7.
Matthew, as a Fast aficionado, what do you feel is the best movie?
Ooh, good question.
I've heard 3 is good. Tokyo Drift. I haven't seen Tokyo Drift, but
I'll be honest, Tokyo Drift's the only one I haven't seen.
No.
I haven't seen that.
I will tell you, Tokyo Drift is a lot of fun, but it does age a lot.
Well, I know it ages. I know it ages because I think it's in 4 or 5. When like the timelines overlap, they film scenes that are meant to take place during Tokyo Drift, and the main guy in that one, the American dude, he is clearly a lot older in some scenes than he is in others, which I think is funny. Look, I think 7's my favorite because, mainly because of James Wan. He can really direct a great action sequence. The Paul montage at the end is really nice, even though I think it doesn't make sense within context of the film franchise, but it is beautiful send off for Paul. But 5 still feels like it doesn't feel like a soulless popcorn flick. You know, it still feels like a good action movie. 4 and 5 feel kind of grounded, and also just for the lols, it's funny to watch 5 and watch Dwayne Johnson do an accent. He puts on a redneck accent. It's really hilarious. He's trying to be a character that's not him. And that's the last time he's ever tried to like not play himself. it's funny to watch him try and be an actor. It's like, no, just look in the camera.
Stay in your lane.
Just stay in your lane. Give wrestling threats and just do that, buddy. But yeah, look, I'm excited for this, but I should also mention, guys, I don't mean to go on forever, but you know how much I love behind the scenes drama.
Yeah.
Do you guys know much about the insane behind the scenes drama of this film?
I know
this one specifically?
Vin Diesel and The Rock clash previously.
They hate each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's why he didn't show up in 9. In this one, Vin Diesel had a new clash. So the director, Justin Lin, has directed, I think it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. I think that was it. He's directed most of them. Like he's part of the main reason why this franchise got a second life, you know?
Yeah.
So about less than a week into shooting, he stormed off set and says he refuses to work with Vin Diesel because he's got too much of an ego. And he was like, I need to quit due to my mental health. And
holy shit.
Yeah, he said Vin Diesel is impossible to work with. And sources say that Justin Lin was going to get paid about $12 million to direct this film. And by walking away, he was going to get none of it. And he was like, and his mindset was like, it's worth it. I'd rather not make $12 million. I just don't want to be in the same room as Vin Diesel.
I was going to say that what he sacrificed would have just in itself said everything that you need to know at how bad.
And honestly, there's a chance he could be blacklisted from the industry. I'm pretty sure Universal will never work with him again because allegedly the studio lost $1 million a day for every day they did not have a director because they had all the actors, all the crew, everyone was in place and they couldn't shoot without a director. So they ended up getting a new director. They got this guy last minute and Louis Leterrier. I hope I'm saying that right.
Okay.
Is this for the latest movie or?
Yeah, Fast X.
So Justin Lin was supposed to originally direct it.
Justin Lin started to direct it and then he walked off like a week into shooting.
So when the studio step in and just mediate the conflict or something, or you think the studio would have some sort of safety mechanism for something like this? Like if your director gets into an argument with the main star.
Well, he's been working with Vin for over 10 years. So you'd assume they've had a good relationship, but apparently not. Apparently it's been, and you know, this poor guy, he's had to not only just juggle Vin Diesel's ego, he's also got to juggle Jason Statham's and Dwayne Johnson, which is kind of why they kind of left the franchise to do Hobbs and Shaw. But this new director, he's actually not a bad pick. So he did The Incredible Hulk, which is the first film in the MCU, which some people don't like, but I like it.
Is it the Edward Norton one?
The Edward Norton one, yeah.
I actually liked that movie. I actually thought that movie was decent.
Me too.
A lot of people like that movie, actually.
Yeah, it's really underrated, I would say. But he also did The Transporter with Jason Statham. Now You
Love
See
those
Me.
movies. Yeah.
Yeah, he did Now You See Me, which is basically Fast and the Furious, but with magic instead of cars. And he did. This is a bit of a. You know, a lot of people don't. It's a bit of a under the rug. You know, what do you say? It's a bit of a lot of people don't know this one, but I used to like it. It's called Unleashed. It's a Jet Li movie. So he's done action. He's actually, I think, not a bad pick. And he did Transporter 2 as well. So this guy is, they didn't just get any random. They actually found a good guy. And I think that might be partly why this trailer does not look like a dumpster fire because
no, it's not like a dumpster fire. It's just so out there, but that's what that's what it is.
Yeah. And look, Justin Lin did all the pre-production. He did a lot of, he laid the groundwork for it. So his DNA will be felt in this film for sure.
That's shitty though. That, like you don't even get like at least a payout. Like I understand it from the studio end. That's still really shitty.
I think a lot of the extra drama in that for him, unfortunately, comes because Vin is also a producer, like a heavyweight producer on it. So if you're having disagreements, not just with the star, but the producer, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. That is true. I think the story goes is so he did a cameo in Tokyo Drift under condition that he gets some sort of ownership of the franchise. And that's why he pushes it so hard, because like when that franchise makes money, he makes money. It's not just him as an actor, it's him as a producer as well. Like that's arguably the most successful part of his career. And he's tried to replicate it with stuff like Chronicles of Riddick, and I think he's trying to do the same with Bloodsport, Bloodshot. But yeah. Also, fun fact, apparently Gal Gadot is also coming back from the dead in this movie. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nobody
dies in Fast and Furious.
Nobody dies.
Nobody dies.
They're literally like cartoon characters.
Yeah.
100%. Look, let's move on. Let's talk about